Huncho world, you know what time it is. We about to get surgical. I'm Sly Huncho and I am back with another video. Let's go. Alright, so my boy here today is cutting off his locks. He said he's been growing them for 6 years and he wanted to just try something new. He wanted to start his wave journey. So I asked him, did he want to cut a lock off? He was like, nah, but you know what I'm saying, he asked his son to try to cut a lock off. His son came over, tried to cut a lock off, but he couldn't get it quite. So I just went ahead and took over and started cutting them off one by one. I believe he said he did combine his locks. That's why they look so thick. They look kind of like some small wicks. Whenever you do cut locks off, you may get buildup. I think it's really just the product or whatever he had used whenever he was getting his locks retwisted, because his hair didn't stink. It wasn't really his scalp flaking. It was the part of the locks that was flaking wherever I cut it off at. But I even had to pull some hair apart just to get it untangled, you know? But I'm gonna cut his hair down with a 5 guard, so I can feel the texture of his hair. It's like a fine texture. He'll probably be like a medium waver. I don't know, we gonna see. But I cut his hair down with a 5 before I wash his hair, because I don't want his hair to be too short. First, whenever I wash it, I want it to be at that curl length so I can lay down the waves. I be seeing a lot of comments talking stuff like, you could have washed his hair first, you could have did this. Let me do me. Let me do my magic, you know what I'm saying? Let me, you know what I'm saying, I'm the barber. Let me do my work, you know what I'm saying? But we just going with the way his hair grows. I can see all the product build up and the hair just right there just stuck off. I'm definitely gonna change capes, you know what I'm saying? But I go in and I wash his hair. You wanna make sure his hair is fully soaked so we can go ahead and use the shampoo and scrub out all the excess dirt and anything we need out of his head. So I've been using this OGX shampoo. I like it, you know what I'm saying? I used to use it on my waves whenever I did a washing style. Lays down the hair real good, but I'm seeing comments that's saying this shampoo is trash. They bash me for using this shampoo. Like, I gotta do my homework on it, you know what I'm saying? I gotta do some research. But me personally, I like the shampoo, you dig? But I'm brushing his hair down. Yeah, the first 2 strokes of the brush, you know what I'm saying? He had waves, no cap. So his hair is curly. I can tell by the texture, you know what I'm saying? I can tell by the way I'm washing it. His hair is curly, so it's gonna be easy to give my boy some 360 waves. Finna be busting for real, you know what I'm saying? You can see it right there through the lather. You can see the waves coming in. You see it? All right, so then I'll lay down his hair some more with my hands. So you want to make sure the hair is smooth down, laid down for when you put the do-rag on. So I put the do-rag on and I open the flaps. You know what I'm saying? I'll make sure the flaps is open whenever you tie it. But you know what I'm saying, this do-rag size may be too small for his head. So I gotta tie it extra tight so the flaps might scringe a little bit. But you always wanna make sure you pull that back flap down, you know what I'm saying? You see the soap coming through the do-rag, that means it's pulled tight. And then you wanna make sure you're rinsing out the shampoo all the way. You wanna make sure you get up under there and on top of the hair. I allow his head to dry under the blow dryer for 30 minutes and then we go back to the chair. I told y'all he was finna be swimming. I told y'all, you know what I'm saying? You can see little gaps and stuff wherever his hair laid down, that's how his hair lays down. But I told y'all, he finna be swimming, you know what I'm saying? So we do have a difficult canvas here, but with canvases like these, this is where it really brings out the best barber, you know what I'm saying? This brings out the beast in you. So I cut his hair down on a crown with a 3 open with a magic clip guard, and then I cut the rest of his hair with a 3.5 detachable guard. So let me break this down. So a magic clip guard cuts different than a detachable guard. I use the detachable when I'm really trying to lay down the waves, and I feel like that hair pattern can take the detachable guard, because some hair patterns or hair textures, I feel like they can't take the detachable guard. Like a waver whose texture is more fine than others, I don't feel like a detachable guard would fit right with that, you know what I'm saying? But we start with the back taper. So with the back taper, I didn't know he did have a crease in the back of his head, so I started a little high, but that's okay, we're gonna recover. I usually start my first guideline around it when I want the edges to pop more, you know what I'm saying? So you could do like a burst back taper, kind of like whenever you do like a mid taper or a burst taper on the side, it gives it that effect where the hair is darker towards the edges, so it's gonna make the haircut pop more. But we're gonna be good, trust me. We're gonna fade this out and get them all stitched. I do cut the neckline lower than the rest of the hair just so the line will come out crispy too. And you can see here I'm doing the mid taper. It's about to get this definitely gonna get that effect that I was telling y'all about. Y'all gonna see it at the end. But I'm locked in here, I'm working, you know what I'm saying? I'm using my fade system to do the taper. Once you get your system down, it's gonna be like clockwork. It's gonna be easy. But you wanna always make sure. So whenever you zero gap your clippers, it's gonna make the haircut way more smoother, way more quicker, and way more neater. And whenever they get dull, you can either sharpen your clippers or you can get a replacement blade. But you always want to make sure your clippers are adjusted correctly just so you can cut the hair down to the... Out of all tapers, I feel like the mid taper is my favorite just because the effect that it gives. It's not too high, it's not too low. But every time I do a taper and they have a beard, I'll follow the same system that I'm using for the taper on the beard because it'll save you time. Or you can just do it after. It's really your preference. There's no rules to this shit. As long as you get the job done and the client happy, your job is done. Your job is done. But I'm starting on the neckline here. As you can see, I told y'all that taper is gonna make the line pop. And you wanna make sure you always get the hair around the neckline just so the line to pop even more. No hair left behind. Every hair matters. Then we're gonna start on the front hairline. So his hairline is different, you know what I'm saying? He has a widow's peak, but that's no biggie, you know what I'm saying? You wanna make sure you apply that holding spray so you can lay down the hairline. I usually use my hands or a brush to lay down the hairline. But I go in, I'm doing my C cup using the tip of my blade. When you're doing hairlines, you don't even have to use the whole blade, you can just use the corners of it. But right here I get kind of lost, you know what I'm saying? I'm really debating on where to put the bars at, so I'll go to the other side and line it up. This is a cheat code I use, so if you don't know where to line up at, just go to the other side and the other side is gonna let you know. So the other side is telling me that his hairline does start at the edge of his eyebrow, so I line it up on the other side at the edge of his eyebrow. I'm not gonna tilt his hairline in too much to where it looks like a 7. You don't want that. It's a bad look and it's gonna look like you pushed him back. Even if the hairline is thin right there, just line it up right there and leave it as natural as possible. But lining up the bars in the C cup first gives me guidelines for when I line up the front hairline, so it makes it way easier. So it's really just a gimme. It's just you connecting the dots, really. My client did ask for an all natural haircut, so what I like to do is with all natural haircuts, I like to go back over it with some holding spray and reline it back up like I got enhancements on. This will allow the hairline to last longer. Small trick I taught myself, but it's very useful. As you can see, there is overhanging hairs, so I'm just going back and lining it up. His hairline is crispy. You can see I'm getting it even crispier. Do y'all remember where he started at and how his hairline looked? See, look at it now. It looks crispy, natural, no enhancements needed, straight and sliced. Then we're gonna get some razor work. So I'm gliding my razor at a 45-degree angle while I'm pulling the skin. Make sure I don't cut the client. Your razor work is really gonna set you apart. You wanna make sure you're razoring every line, every corner, getting it sharp to a T. The line's so straight, it could bend a ruler. Yeah, check my boy out. He got sliced for sure. Wave spinning, check. Taper faded, check. Got sliced, check. This is the final result. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to my channel. And tune into my vlogs. I'm vlogging every day until I become a millionaire.